Oh.
Hi, welcome to Kmfbz Radio. I'd like to proudly welcome, all the way from California, this is Leather Leone.
Hey guys. Hey,
welcome to the party.
Thank you for inviting me.
How you doing today?
It's been a long time. I need to go to a fucking party.
No shit. We all need some partying in our lives here, especially with all this garbage.
Yes.
So let's get right down to it there, Leone. So you've been a part of great bands like your solo stuff and Chastain. I got to ask, are you still working with David? Like, how did you meet him?
That's such an interesting question. Before COVID, we were starting to talk about a third record. How did I meet David? I met David in I think 82 or 83 through Mike Varney. When I moved to California, Mike Varney became a really good friend of mine, and that was when he was doing all the Shredder records. So he knew of Chastain. When my project fell apart, he said, I know this guy that's looking for, so anyway, through Mike Varney. And back then, I don't know how old you are, but back then we had cassette tapes, and
I'm 43. I love cassette, vinyl, 8-track.
Okay, so we went in somebody's bedroom and recorded on a little 4-track. I did Black Knight, Mystery of Illusion, and Winds of Change, sent it to him. I was making Mystery of Illusion within 4 months. So it was through Mike Varney in the early 80s that I met David. And again, before, because we did We Bleed, Surrender to No, We Bleed Metal. And again, before COVID, he was saying, I think I have some material, but he said to me, I'm not sure if I want to do this again, and then COVID hit. So it's a good excuse for him.
Shit.
I don't know.
Well, I hope you guys get back to making that album. That'd be really awesome. I love your stuff with David. The chemistry is through the roof.
Yeah. Now that it's been so long, now I agree with you. It's really different music, which is what attracted me to him anyway. The way he writes, it's just different. It's just different freaking music. We'll see. I think I'll be able to get one more out of him.
Awesome. So back then, what was it like sharing the stages with guys like Megadeth and Exodus?
Well, back then it was crazy time. Oh my God, that was before everybody was sober. I myself have always been sober when I work, because I've never been one of those people that can party and sing. Never. It was a learning experience. I certainly didn't find it intimidating, which most people think I would. I've never been intimidated by guys that think they're better than myself. It was a learning experience. I loved it. The experience, as I say in all my interviews, of getting spit on and things thrown at and getting booed. It was a great training ground. Yeah, I mean, I looked forward to it. I can't tell you how much I looked forward to it. And the more you didn't like my stuff, the more I'd be in your face. So I had a good time. I had a really good time.
Beautiful. So before all this, you were in a group that sadly never made an album. If I heard this correctly, what was Rude Girl like?
Rude Girl was a bunch of girls that into Dio, into Priest, just wanted to freaking rock. We were all very butchy, blue jeans, high tops, freaking black shit all over us. Just wrote music. We would just sit on the beach all the time and write music. And they were the ones that actually got me to sing what I auditioned for them. I did Annie Wilson's version of Led Zeppelin rock and roll. And they looked at me and said, do you know who Bon Scott is? Try to sing like that. And I couldn't sing like that, but my voice wanted to go there. And then I got into Dio and stuff. So it's really, they're the ones that got me into it. We just wrote songs, man. We just wanted to make music and play. And back in the day, you could do that in the Bay Area. Clubs to play every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You would actually get paid. I mean, there was always somewhere to play. And it was before everybody broke. So Metallica would come to, all the people that became huge. It was one big family. Kurt Hammett used to give me advice. I mean, it was one big freaking family. It was so great. It was so great.
Beautiful. How did you break into music? Like, what were your influences as a kid? Like, at what age did you want to pursue singing?
I kind of always sang, but I didn't say, oh, I want to be a singer. It happened when I went to college, and I don't come from a musical family. I can remember saying I'm at college. I use that word lightly. Because I was singing in cover bands, and I can remember I was the only girl in town that could sing the Pat Benatar keys. So I can remember going, oh, I think I can do this. So I would say 19, 20, but I didn't know what to do, you know? So I started looking in the newspaper to audition for bands, I remember. And then I was doing nothing in New York, but singing in cover bands and getting high. And I was so burnt out. And I had a friend in Berkeley, California. And she said, come on out. And I came out, and then I never left. That's when I got into Rude Girl. And then I knew I could do it. You know, once I started doing it, I knew that I could do it. So I would say 20, 21. I'm like, I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show everybody that I can do this. Because back then it was so weird, right? Not weird anymore. But back then, you know, it was quite unacceptable. So it was really cool to fight the stigma. I loved it. I was like, oh, really? Watch this. So it was pretty cool.
You have an amazing voice. What do you do to keep that voice so amazing?
Thank you so much for those words. What do I do? I run, I sleep, I sing. I run, I sleep, I say water. No, water. The older I've gotten, it's cardio. The last tour that I did, I can remember thinking, because, you know, I don't sing all the time anymore, going, God damn. Even everyone was saying to me, you're singing so good. And what I had happened to talk to a couple vocal coaches that I know, and I started doing spinning, and I run, and it's cardio. It's like, you can sing into, it's cardio. So it's just heavy cardio and water. But, you know, I'm blessed. You know, thank you, powers that be. I'm just really blessed because I don't always take care of myself. I like to drink. I don't sleep. But when I have to, it's funny. I do the Frank Sinatra thing a long time ago. I wrote that Frank Sinatra, drinker, smoker, when he had something to do, to tour, to make a record, 5 weeks before, he stopped everything. And that's what I do. 5 weeks before I'm doing something, we're done. No more drinking, no sleeping. Yeah. And I used to love to drink. Like everybody in the 80s, we're always drinking. Then I started taping myself, thinking that I sounded good. No, I didn't. So, and of course now it's different. People tape themselves, but always listen to yourself, because it's really, especially when you're starting, it's so important. What you think that note is so happening, not all the time.
Definitely. So let's look back here. You took a 20-year break. You came back in 2011. What made you leave, and what inspired you to come back to music?
I left because the Chastain thing had kind of run its course, and I think David and I wanted two separate things. I wanted to tour. I wanted major touring. I wanted to try to get on a major tour, and I don't think he did. So it was okay. I was really proud of myself, and I was going to come home to California and just hang out for 6 months and then try to get in other bands. And back then, labels, I would meet. Nobody was into leather. All the labels wanted me to be more of a sexual poppy. I'm a tomboy. I'm not sexual. I don't do pop. So
besides, why does sex always have to be in everything anyway?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows I have a vagina. Woohoo!
Big deal. Well, I got a dick. Whatever.
Well, whatever. Yeah, everybody has.
Go back to Rammstein.
It was so hurtful to me. I was going, fuck, girl. Why can't I be Hetfield? I used to say. And I was never really one to compromise, and I really didn't fight. I was always proud of what I did with Chesty, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm in a history book. I don't care. And I actually did some demos for Vixen at the time, but it kind of always came back to that I didn't look good enough and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't give a shit. So I walked away. I do that. When I'm done with something, I close the door and see you later. And unfortunately, what made me come back was the loss of Ronnie. I went down to his services and stuff, and I can remember his Forest Hills, where he's buried, is so beautiful. And I was just by myself, and I can remember looking at all the people and listening to his music and thinking about all the times I had with him, and really thinking that I was like a spoiled fucking little brat. What I had been given this gift, what was I doing? Nothing. So it was through that. So I started singing again in studios, in destroying all the evidence. Let me tell you, it took me a good 6 months to get back in shape, I would say. But it was through the loss of Ronnie. I had to do something for him, I mean, one of the last things he said to me was, don't ever stop. You're good enough. Don't stop. And what did I do? So it was through the loss of Ronnie Dio, that inspired me to get my ass up.
Wow. So since your return, how do you feel about the way the scene has changed compared to when you first started in the 80s?
Well, I don't do a lot in this country. And when you go to South America and Brazil, you don't notice. It's insane. The enthusiasm, the people, it's incredible in Europe and South America. It's not like here, you know. I only did well in certain parts of the country. And I can remember, you know, playing for the people that were like, you know, but no, where I am blessed enough to play right now, it's like the 80s. People still dress that way. I mean, there's 20-year-old people singing Angel of Mercy to me. You weren't even fucking born. Yeah, they're
That's one of my favorite songs. I love that song.
Was that a good? Yeah, he hit it. He hit it on that. I perform that live all the time. I always will. But so I don't notice the enthusiasm for what I do is incredible where I play. There's a reason why there's no call for me in the States. It's like, yeah, you're good. Good luck, you know. So I go where they want me.
So let's talk about Leather. What's Leather working on these days? I hear it's called We Are the Chosen. So when is the release date and when can we hear a track?
Well, that's what we were just talking about right before we went on. I am waiting to get to Poland. I record at Hertz Studios in Poland. I'm looking at the end of the summer. It's going to be out this year. I was just telling my co-writer, guitar player, Vinny Tex, we do it this year or I'm jumping off the bridge. I'm done waiting. Yes, We Are the Chosen. We have 9 songs. We continue to write. My plan is by the end of the year.
Good. I hope we get something here. I have your first album and I play it very often. It's an absolute classic to me. Juggernaut.
Oh, Shockwaves. Yeah. You know, that record still holds up kind of, doesn't it? For that.
It sure does.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of don't pay attention. I'm one of those artists, you do it and you know, it's just his 30th anniversary now. It's like, fuck, my voice was in such good shape then. Praise the Lord. That record it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It is cool. So let's get back to the pandemic here. What has the community been doing in regards to returning to concerts?
Well, you know, LA's open again. I think they're just allowing a certain amount of people in with masks, but LA's pretty open. I don't really know much. I don't know if the Bay Area is open yet. But I know they're having shows in Europe too. But they're only allowing like 200 people in with masks. And again, in this country, we're all vaccinated. So we kind of have a different, but you know, supposedly again, international travel is supposed to open up in the summer. I'm just waiting, you know, waiting. Everybody's waiting. I'm going to go. If I have to wrap myself in a fucking garbage, I'm going with a Ziploc. I'm going. No.
I'll go steal a plane and we'll get some coffins and we'll just say we're just delivering.
Yeah, we'll get some Kiss coffins, right? Give Gene some money and we'll just, I don't know. I'm hoping, and you know, I had a tour of Italy that fell apart, so I don't know. That's my whole thing. I want to tour so badly. I want to tour so badly, and I just don't. I'm just fighting for something.
Yeah, like us here in Alberta, we're dying for concerts. We have no theaters, we have nothing, but yet alcohol sales are through the roof.
Yeah, our theaters are opening up. Yeah, California's opening. Yeah, the movie theaters opened, but I know that everyone isn't, you know, California's its own little world. But yeah, I'm looking for definitely for this year. Yeah, I have to. I'm losing my mind like everybody else. Yeah.
So I have this one question, and I know it's probably not the best question in the world, but there's this thing going on in our culture today. What are your thoughts on this woke culture stuff? I don't understand it.
The what? The what?
Woke culture. Like, everybody's canceling people and like.
I don't. Oh, I think I just read something about that. It's everybody calling everybody out on what they say or something.
From what I understand, from what it should be is eliminating the assholes from our scene, like guys like Marilyn Manson who are beating women and who have got about 15 cases against them, and then you got Dave Ellefson, Megadeth. He was
I just read about Ellefson
him for grooming a 17-year-old girl.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I go to the gym and they're always playing Michael Jackson, and I'm going, look, I know that nothing was ever proven, but wow, why does it mess with some people's lives. And I heard about Manson a while ago, but he's putting out new music. I don't know where the line is. And again, they're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? Is that what happened to Elvis? I just read something about him. Is that why Megadeth just put the thing? So
that's right.
He's
that's
some
what it is.
Some pornographic thing. Yeah. I don't even know if I have an opinion about it. I think the Elvis suckers should be slaved, but it's so hard to prove it when you have money and privilege, right? And again, when I'm not big, but those people are like all up here when it comes to the law and stuff. In all honesty, I'm pretty self-centered. I don't really pay attention to much stuff, but me trying to get out there right now. But I was just thinking that today. What happened to Manson? I heard all this stuff and now nothing. So the woke culture is about calling him out, convicting them, saying get away, so pay the consequences, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's my understanding anyway.
Well, that's cool. Because we're in a society where we really just all think about ourselves, but that thing about guys taking advantage of women that's really freaky and very serious.
Very serious. And we've got so many things that are going on in the world today, and there's just at a point where there's just no room for assholes anymore.
No, and I think and you know who else I was thinking about? Remember 100 years ago, the guy from the Who, the guitar player. They arrested him. They arrested him for something and then nothing. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
So some people, and again, maybe they were proven innocent. I don't know. And I think we still live in a society where my word would. No, that's not true. I think people respect women's opinions now when they say something has happened. But yeah, there's certain people that it doesn't seem to harm. And again, the Michael Jackson thing keeps playing in my head. His estate's still making millions of dollars.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But on to the fun stuff. In the spirit of metal, what do you think if the bands you were around in the 1980s started today? Do you think they'd make the same impact?
Yes, because you know what, dude? I hated so much of that stuff. And I hear Rat on the radio. I hear Poison on the radio. Whitesnake on the radio. All the stuff that we used to laugh at. Those songs are great. I think they would, because also what I'm experiencing in the younger generation, I meet a lot of the Cobras and the Vickies, and they want to go more into that kind of 80s, really singing, really kind of song structure. And the people in Brazil, that they kind of still listen to that. So it's really beautiful. They're going away from extreme music and more into like a real melody. Oh no, of course, they would rock. They would rock. Those songs are just too fun. In Lita Ford, God, Lita, I love you. But I can remember, a taste of poison. When that came out, we were going, oh, come on. And now I'm like listening to the song, I can't turn it off. Good songs. Good, goofy, positive songs,
Yeah, man, the best.
Yeah. So dance. I'm going, fuck, Piercy, come on.
Yeah, man.
Well, of course, remember, I was in the Bay Area. I was Metallica, Testament, fucking Exit. You didn't go down there where the pretty boys were. It was just like, we're real metal. You aren't gonna. But no, they're great songs. Great songs. Party.
Bay Area thrash.
yeah. And then we go down and like hang out with Ricky Rock and stuff.
So
love them.
So what do you think, Leon, if certain artists didn't pass away, what do you think their stuff would be like?
Oh God, come on, I think of Dio and Lemmy, what they would be. Hendrix, I got so into Hendrix in college and my family got so freaked out. I just think that they would have continued. It would have been insane. And those are people that never changed with the times. They just kept creating. Yeah. Those are the people that I love, people that just stick true to, they're just amazing. Come on, Lemmy would be kicking.
We all know Motorhead would be putting out great albums still.
And it makes me think, and I love and appreciate everyone, but like the word queen and legend, that gets thrown around. There are people in the world, a few people in the world that are really that. And the people that seem to, that I'm thinking of that passed away, they were just on the mountain, like where the hell did they come from? Like still Iommi's here. They're just so blessed. I can remember meeting Ronnie for the first time and I was like, like a 12-year-old.
I was just about to ask you, like, you were
I can
close with
remember
Ronnie.
saying, and again, it was cassette tapes. He was listening to a Rude Girl cassette in the bus. And I can remember saying to him, you know, I said, look, I'm not trying to sound corny, but I was a late bloomer to metal, but do you realize what your creativity, what your voice, what your being does? The magic. You don't know what it does to people like me, or what you put out in the world. And that's why I wrote Something in This Life off Shockwaves, because he said, Leather, it's something in this life that you will obtain. He goes, it's called your peace of mind. And as you get older, and that never left me, you know? But he was just so calm. Oh God. Yeah, he was always really honest with me about stuff, which I appreciated. Yeah, just, I mean, like there was an aura around him. And anyway, there's just some people that have that, right? Not everybody, but actually not most of us, but fuck.
What are some of your favorite moments with Ronnie?
Probably the first time when I first saw him in Holy, I don't think I ever saw him with Sabbath. Holy Diver down here in Mountain View or somewhere. It reminds me of the first time when I was in 8th grade and went to see Donny Osmond. I mean, I like I couldn't breathe. This little man twirling that and that fucking, I was just in awe. And I always watched him, what he did. But it was more of listening. I can remember seeing him when his voice was tired, and I watched how beautifully he would dodge. I learned so much shit from him because he would be like, yeah. I was really just his voice. I watched him and studied. I still do. I watched him and studied him like a motherfucker. Yeah, for sure.
He's an idol. I love that guy. It was
truly so sad without him.
It was such an experience getting to see him live with Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler.
I never saw that.
Heaven and Hell, man. It was the shit. It was the best.
And somebody, he played here in San Francisco, and an old friend of mine, he did that. And it was before he got sick. And I said, no, I really can't. I'll go next time. Oh, yeah, that was just, I remember seeing Ozzy with Sabbath, and it was, Dio must have been amazing. Where did you see him? Where'd you see the show?
I saw him at the Northlands Coliseum here in Edmonton. And I was right there on the floor, and Megadeth opened, and
oh no,
yeah, man, Down was supposed to be there with Phil Anselmo, but they dropped off the tour, so just Megadeth and
again, you say Megadeth. I think I know everyone in the Bay Area is Metallica. There's something about fucking Mustaine and his. I have always been testament in Megadeth. I can't imagine Megadeth in front of Dio. What a great show!
That was beautiful. Great show. It was beautiful, man.
Oh, yeah, shit, I never saw that. Oh.
So we're talking about Black Sabbath. Like, what era would you think was the best, Dio or Ozzy?
Great question. I think about that a lot. Two totally different. Which ones do I like better? Ozzy was the prince. Ozzy was this energetic, crazy man, but Dio was the royalty. Dio was the king. Ozzy was the prince. I think I prefer the seriousness of the Dio periods. But I mean, it's also fucking great. Even that, I'm working with a guitar player. I'm doing a couple songs on his record. The guy who's now doing the new Tony Martin record. That Tony Martin record was sick.
Yeah, it was.
But, Dio just, the Dio era. Because again, Dio would step into anything and just make it fucking, I have to find a new word. Just magical, just out of this world. Yeah. But Ozzy
Dio was my Gandalf.
Thank you. Yes. The prince, and he was just the king. He was just the master. I mean, literally, I used to watch him and just bawl. I'd be like in the crowd, like, I didn't know. It's like, here's Leather.
Yeah, you got teared up by him too, eh? I always teared up when it came to Ronnie.
Yeah.
Beautiful
he was
man.
Just magical. Even his old bluesy stuff, Ronnie and the whatever, I listened to those things all the time when he played his horn and with his bell bottoms. And actually, you reminded me of a story that I don't think I've ever told anybody. I did the Sledge Leather project down in LA in 2012, I think. And oh my God, I was blessed. I worked with Scott Warren and Jimmy Bain before we lost him. And, everyone knows how much I'm into Dio. Well, the more I looked into it, I'm adopted. And I was adopted in Rochester, New York. Well, Ronnie, when he was 18, was going to school outside of Rochester, New York. And Ronnie never had children, right? I think they adopted the son he has, I think, right?
Wow.
So it was a joke that we had with me and my friend Sandy. I'm going, oh my God, because I'm like, oh my God, maybe Ronnie's my father. He knocked up some chick and nobody. So that was kind of a joke we had. And I'm going, oh, stop. So I wrote my father's daughter in an airport. So that was kind of a joke that we had going on. My wheels were turning. Oh my God, we're little, we're sure I'm Italian. So it was a joke, but yeah, it's one of my favorite songs I ever wrote, My Father's Daughter. And my father, who's passed now, my father thought it was about him. He goes, oh, thank you so much for them. I'm going, you're welcome, Dad.
I love it. I love it. So who do you think are the most iconic frontmen and women in metal today? Who do you think is next?
I always forget her name. I'm sorry. The beautiful girl. Is it Alyssa, Arch Enemy?
Alyssa Glues. Yeah.
The girl in Arch Enemy now. Then and Angela was a fucking beast. I love extreme music. I don't do extreme music. That's all I listen to right now. Yeah. Angela was the beast. Arch Enemy.
Angela surprised the hell out of me when Arch Enemy first released that record, We Will Rise, and they said there was a female singer. I think this can't be.
You're going no
way. No. And then finally they came here, played the Shaw Conference Center with Cradle of Filth, and I thought, oh my God, I cannot believe the vocals on this woman.
And wasn't she just a beautiful fucking tomboy?
Yeah.
And you know, the only way I found out about her is I was reading a Chastain interview once where they were talking to Chastain and they were talking about how when I first came out, how my voice, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, there's no Angela, whatever her last name is. So I looked her up and I was like, Gasal, mother of God. And the girl at Arch Enemy is great. Women. I don't follow a lot of women. The stuff that I see about Lizzie Hell's a motherfucker. Lizzie Hell's insane.
Oh yeah.
I don't really follow a lot of women. Yeah, I would say those two. In this moment, I loved Maria when she first came out. She's a little too theatrical for me, but you're like just staring at her.
Her voice is like that of a fucking phoenix. Like, I'm impressed by Maria Brink's vocal range.
What she can do a lot, yeah. And again, it's a little too artsy fartsy for me. I just like chicks like Hellstorm that are just out there. With
get up there, leather jacket, and whole 9 yards, horns up.
And a lot of it is all but you're making me think. I don't pay attention to a lot of women. I don't pay attention. And of course, my beautiful friend Doro, I will love her forever.
Oh, I love Doro.
I loved it. I could just, I played with her a couple, and have you ever met her? You just want to hug her.
I want to. I see her Instagram.
She is the sweetest freaking angel. You just want to go like this to her. She's adorable. Women, I don't know.
Very warm.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the big women that are out now in metal.
I don't. Cobra Page from
Cobra's a friend of mine. Yeah. She's doing a lot of different stuff now. This is the thing. We all make it look easy. It's not easy to get up there and play night after night after night after night. I mean, we love it.
It's draining.
So when you see these people and, they make it look so easy, it's not easy. And everybody always thinks it's such a party. I mean, that's always been the straightest period of my life when I tour, because I can't party. And I mean, it's grueling. The time with Chastain was the healthiest time of my life. I mean, people think, oh, you're out fucking in it. I was one of in the 80s, of course, everybody did that. And that was the thing about the 80s for me. You would hear these amazing records and then you'd go see them and the vocals were never like that. They could never duplicate. So my thing with Chastain always was, I'm going to sing it like the record. So that's always been very important to me. But but it's pretty cool. I'm not complaining.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, Leone, if somebody played you in a bio picture, who would it be? You had a storied career. You'd make one hell of a biopic.
I'm thinking about the girl that was in California with Woody Harrelson. She went out with Brad Pitt 100 years ago. Patricia's sister, Patricia Arquette's sister.
Oh, I know this one too.
The tough bitch with the
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Oh no, Kirsten, the vampire girl that played Joan Jett. Perfect. What's
Kristen Stewart? There you go. There you go.
She would get me in a minute. She'd hang out with me and she'd nail it. Yeah. I got a call her.
Ross the Boss went with Marky Mark. I said, that was already taken.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're not making music? Like everybody makes it look like you guys are like millionaires. Like, what do you do for a job?
I got into animals 100 years ago when after Chastain stopped touring all the time. I became a vet tech, so I work with animals. I do a lot of pit bull rescue, and I work with animals. That's my real job. That affords me to, because dude, I've never been in a major. I had very little support. I'm out there
scraping and clawing like everybody else. Yeah.
But I it's good for me. I need to have to work for something because I have the personality where I need to work for it. And then it's, it means more to you. I was talking to Vinny the other, when we accomplished this record, I'm going to lay down and cry like a fucking bitch. We got Marcel Vasco to do the cover for me. He does all the Slayer covers. He just did Dee Snider. I mean, I'm working with some heavy people. So yeah, but no, I have to work for a living. Yeah, I know sometimes, I have a pretty nice card. Sometimes people see me and and I said, yeah, Mystery of Illusion did really well. Well, people, I can remember when I came back in 2011, everyone wanted me to keep up this facade. It's like, why? I don't, who cares? Besides the fact, who cares? But why do you have to create something that's not true? Who cares?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm rich off that Chastain stuff. Oh yeah, I live in a house on the hill, which before I started recording, you thought everybody did, right?
Yeah.
I knew this woman here that worked with, the house on the hill with the limo. And I got to tell you, in the 80s, I lived that. I was always in limos, the blow, the mansions, but it was never mine. But yeah, I did it. But yeah, people are crazy. I can remember when I first moved here, there was a woman that used to sing for Narda Michael Walden, the famous pop guy, lives around here. And she made all these records, and she lived in this little place and drove the shitty car. And I'm like, but you make records. She goes, doesn't matter. Everybody makes records. Now I get it. Everybody makes records now, right?
I made a record.
And you know what? A lot of people get in touch with me and they're like, what's your advice? How do you get noticed? And I don't know. I tell everyone, you have to do it because you love it. You can't do it because you want to be famous or because you want to be on Zoom. You have to do it because you love it, because most of you are going to be broke. Most of you are going to be struggling. Most of us aren't going to make it. And you have to freaking love to do it. Keep your clothes on and just work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We all live like kings and queens.
I'm blessed because I hate the gender thing, but I was one of the handfuls that started doing it in the 80s. So I'm blessed that people go, oh yeah, that girl. Oh,
You're
yeah,
a pioneer. You were a pioneer. When in the 80s, and I hate to bring this up, when in the 80s, when women were like thrown to the back and that they're not welcome in metal. Well, I'm sorry, I thought metal was supposed to be inclusive.
Yeah. And it's so funny. I used to hang out with Motley Crue and go, I want to be a girl in one of your videos. I want to put on high heels. And they would go, get out of here. I'm like, I want to crawl on the floor and drink milk out of a bowl. But yeah. Well, and again, I'm sure it hurt my career because I was a tomboy. But I used to say to them, Madonna is Madonna because that's the way she feels. And it was the decade of the beautiful, the Doro and the Lita and the Sorayas. I mean, there were these beautiful women. I was this bushy little girl, and it would have been, I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm going to come out in a bustier. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
So stupid. It's so boring. And of course, that what makes money. And, I knew Skid Row back then, and they did the same thing to Sebastian because he was so beautiful. So the sex thing it was everywhere. It's hell.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a big horror movie guy, and I'm sick and tired of every time I watch a fucking horror movie, there's somebody always getting boned. Does this drive the story? I want to get to the fucking killing.
Yeah. Is it really? There's always sex in it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm not saying I'm anti-sex or anything. I'm just saying
I know, but come on.
It's oversaturated is what I'm saying.
Well, like you said, we all know what we have in between our legs. Who cares? when I used to play with Rude Girl, of course, it was the days of the spandex. I used to stuff my crotch. I'd put a small cucumber or a sock in there because I was so butchy, you know. I had shaved head, and yeah, I loved it. And people would be like, and I'm, you know, I don't really have a lot of, and they'd be like, what the fuck? I'm like, hey, you asked for it, you know.
So
I tried doing it with Chastain one time, but he was always like, get that out of there. Like, yeah. I actually just found out yesterday that the cover of Mystery of Illusion, again, always bothered me. I'm not sure why the blonde girl with the big boobs and no clothes is on there. I guess the night was saving or whatever. I had no fucking say in that. But that they didn't put my picture on there because they wanted they were wondering if people would think I was a guy or a girl. Massive blessing. I don't think I ever sounded like a guy. I used to try so hard. But, and Chastain just said to me, he goes, he protected me. He goes, you don't understand what it was like back then. If a lot of people would have known, they wouldn't have even listened. And I never saw it that way. I never experienced, you know, I figured if we didn't get a gig or a tour that we just weren't good enough on that day. We weren't what they were looking for. And when I would tour, I loved helping the crew. I would always carry in guitars and stuff. And I could, people, oh God, check out that chick. David has and then I'd go, oh yeah, watch this. Come on in. And I'd invite everybody into sound check and go, fuck you, motherfucker. Listen to this. But it was fun. I miss it. I miss it so much.
That's so cool. So when you're downtime, like what kind of music do you listen to? Like when you're on your own, like what kind of movies do you like watching?
I don't do a lot of movies. I'm really into the history. I do a lot of biographies, History Channel. I like reality. I don't like nonfiction.
I love documentaries.
Yes, I want to learn about stuff. And of course, I'm always so into medicine. I love history, huge nature. I could just sit out in the trees. But it's interesting. And again, I talked to my guitar player a lot. So I listen to extreme music. You know, liquid metal. I dig the Triviums and the God Pop Evil. Can they write a motherfucking song? But I do a lot of Lamb of God. I love the new Cannibal Corpse record.
Violence Unimagined.
Love it. I'm like, you lucky bastard. Nobody even cares what you're saying. But I listen to either really extreme or then I check out what Bieber's doing. I check out pop music all the time because there's some good pop, not the shitty stuff.
Yeah.
But Bieber, oh my God, girl, you got that yum. I listen to both sides because I want to hear, because this is the first time in my life that I'm really doing major songwriting for two, and me and Vinny have wrote this whole record. And I want to, I'm always metal, but I need to break out of the box a little. I love Candlemass. I like the little twerks that they do. Love Trouble, Sabbath, that whole, I love sludge metal, whatever they call it. And of course, Dio, Maiden, I'm always stuck in that, but I listen to total extremes. And it was interesting. I did an interview last week and they were surprised that I liked extreme metal because they say most people from your time in 1927. I'm like, how can you not like the advancement of metal? Yeah. Randy, how does he sing like that? And I understand everything he's saying, how he pronunciates. God, I love him. Love him. Sick. Yeah. I love aggression. I have a different time. I have aggression. It just doesn't sound like that. But yeah, I love extreme. Behemoth, I've gotten into a little bit more because we recorded the same studio.
Behemoth is good. I like them.
Yeah, it's a different taste, but yeah, I love how other people create. I love, like I said, Megadeth. I freaking love everything he does. I don't know what it is about Mustaine. Maybe because I knew him when he was an underdog, when he was in the Bay Area and Metallica dropped him off on the street. And he got sober. He got a lot of shit for that, you know? Yeah. I used to support him big time. Yeah, he's great. Now we went through, I really, really like Megadeth. But yeah, I listen to everything.
Same here. Decrep's just put out a cover version of Devo's Whip It.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty great. I love it.
I love listening to covers because I don't do them. So, was it Trivium or no? Kill Switch Engage. I just heard their version of Holy Diver.
Kill Switch.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I know Ripper and others, Dio. I can't go to those shows. I can't watch somebody else do Dio, and I say it out of the utmost respect. I can't do it. I couldn't do the hologram. I can't listen to Ripper sing his songs, but that Kill Switch, wow, he really put a lot of thought into that.
There was some
He's
soul.
a motherfucker. Oh my God. And I love Anselmo. I love anything that Nazi does. God, I love him. He's insane.
He's crazy, man. He's crazy.
I met him 100 years ago. I used to be friends
Yeah.
with Skid Row. I used to work at the same horse ranch as Rob, the drummer, before he got famous. And this was during, I don't know, Chastain maybe just did Voice of the Cult or something. And Anselmo came up to me, and to this day, I don't know if he was making fun of me, honestly. We were partying and drinking, and he came. I'm like, hey, I'm Leather. He goes, oh my God, I know. And he was putting his arm around me, going to everyone, this chick can really sing. But I don't know if he was making fun of me or not.
Phil Anselmo, I don't think he was making fun of you.
No, you think it, but I love
pretty
him.
serious.
And he does all kinds of stuff. He just did that band with where they have the suits on and the keys are with the minor E or something. Yeah. This new record for me, We Are the Chosen, it's going to be different in the way that Vinny and I really explored a lot of different melodies. It's not going to be like me just singing this story. I mean, it's metal for sure, but he did all these little twerks for me to make it. It's pretty dark. It's actually really dark. So I'm really excited.
So we're going to have some songs
everybody sees me like, I'm the voice of the cult. No, not on this record.
We're going to have some pretty heavy shit on this album, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm using Braulio, the drummer from my last record. And then Vinny and I are going to do, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. If I ever get to fucking pull it. Actually, I think I'm going to buy my tickets this week. Yeah.
Well, Leone, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here on Kmfbz Radio. Keep the horns high, darling.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed today's interview, like, share, and subscribe.